Wait a minute. The mail room, I be tuned in. Listen in to TaShon, she be going in. Y'all. Black queen for us black kings. We can learn a thing or two when we're locked in. One of the few places we can't be heard. Facts, man, I rocks with her, that's my word. The show is enlightening, engagement always enticing. I always come with an open mind, I'm never frightened. Guaranteed to walk away with minerals. Now that I'm thinking everything else is minuscule. Rid of fools who don't protect black women. No arguing, disrespect, and that's it. Y'all. Please come in peace when you call in. Cause our friends ain't no slouch, fair warning. The mail room, messages from him. Y'all better listen if you wanna win. The mail room to stay, the mail room, yes, it's here to stay. Messages from him, tune in. The mail room to stay, the mail room, yes, it's here to stay. Messages from him, tune in. The mail room to stay, the mail room, yes, it's here to stay. Messages from him, tune in. The mail room to stay, the mail room, yes, it's here to stay. Messages from him, tune in.
Up, everybody, welcome to the mail room. Messages from him.
Yeah.
What's going on, everybody? Everybody, let's see. We got everybody in the house. But before we get started, TMR is sponsored by Swag Her Magazine and TLC Coaching Services and hosted on 101 TKO Radio. Download the 101 TKO Radio app today. So listen up, good people. We're back for season 6. Woo! In podcast form. We are now coming to you on all major podcast platforms, including Apple, Spotify, Google, and 101 TKO Radio's Spreaker.com. Subscribe to Spreaker.com and our YouTube, The Mailroom 7671. So listen, y'all, I got a full house today. I got my friends. We got DJ Johnny Prince.
Yeah, it's going on. Good morning.
What's going on? We got Mr. Takeover.
Yes, ma'am.
We got Mark B, our guest co-host. How you doing?
Good. How's everybody?
Going good.
We got Miss Evelyn Whitney. How you doing with the curls?
I know the curls.
Well, curls.
Hey, they popping over there.
And we got Miss Coach La Tressa, the real La Tressa. How you doing, girl?
Can you hear us?
Tressa.
Hey, everybody.
Oh, it's a delay. She delayed, y'all. Tressa, you delayed, girl.
Big delay.
You know what?
Delay is going in and out. Can y'all hear me?
You
We
got
can hear you
to
now.
go completely out to come back in. All right, do that. Let's go. We'll see you. We'll see you at the end of the show.
Listen.
Tressa, what?
You're wrong for that.
Listen. Happy Founders Day to the ladies of Delta Sigma Theta Incorporated and our very own The Real La Tressa. Thank you all so much. Always supporting TLC and endeavors I have. Thank you so much.
Yes.
In fact, all three of y'all on my team, La Tressa, Gina, and Arlene, happy Founders Day and wishing you all this year, what, 111th, 112?
100
So delayed.
Yeah.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
Tressa, you may have to restart your computer. Come back, girl.
Because you delayed.
You delayed. Restart the whole internet and then you come back. Go holler at Al Gore and see if he can't upgrade your internet to the premium package.
Listen, that is our very own guest co-host, The Real La Tressa. She'll be back here. So listen, y'all, we got a dynamic show today. We are talking about Screen'Isha the Sidcehic. But before we start that, my brow, TaShon's the brow, goes to this pastor and his pregnant side chick that was trying to fight the pastor's wife in church, doing church services. So the side chick is the pastor's mistress, but mad at the wife and wanted to fight in the church services. So they had to call the police, and the police had to, end up telling them to get out because the pastor wasn't leaving. So he wasn't leaving. He was trying to explain to the people that they couldn't remove him, this, that, and the other. But the side chick was trying to fight the wife on the front pew. It was a mess. It was
at service.
So the second lady was trying to fight the first lady.
The first lady.
The second lady. No.
The side chick, the mistress.
Yeah, the second lady.
The second lady.
The concubine is
That's
what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Much. Yeah.
Hey,
So,
Keisha, how you doing? Thank you.
I didn't want to be the second lady. I want to graduate with
No.
first. And you need to go to second.
Look,
Yeah,
they can be only one, and like they say in in the Highlander movie, they can be only one. So you got to take out the one.
Listen,
The two got to take out the one.
he
What
needs to sit
denomination
himself
is
down.
this, may I ask?
Yeah,
It looked like it was an old traditional Baptist church. From the church,
Okay.
it looked like it was a traditional Baptist church, and because he was talking about the deacons can't remove him, so that whole church was restructuring.
Well, technically, in the Baptist church,
I mean, that's the church the deacons can remove you real quick.
Exactly.
Right,
He's
they
apostolic.
Yeah,
He might have our Kojic, he might have a leg to stand on, but
Right.
Baptists, they vote their pastors in and out.
right. It looked like from the sound of the way he was trying to explain, like they had already had these conversations, and he just refused. But that side chick got up, was headed to the front pew, and she started trying to fight the lady. But first of all, you pregnant, and then second of all, you the side chick. If anything,
Don't you hate when your side chick show up to your job and try and mess up your workspace?
Listen, I've seen it happen.
Don't come to my job.
I've seen it happen. Woo! APS had a big thing about it. Was some principals and the teachers. They were having a side chick activity.
Epidemic.
I know them students love that, boy.
Woo, them teachers went to the school, and some of them came out of the school. It was a big mess. But of course, everybody kept it hush hush. But we knew who the guy was because we were like, that was him. He did it.
Wow.
He had him.
My view on this is I am all about personal responsibility. I'm not
Definitely.
saying that the side chick was right, but you have to understand that I don't believe she would have been empowered to do that had that pastor not been telling her some things about,
I
oh,
was
well,
just
I'm
gonna
going to
say
leave
he
my wife
allowed some
and,
things.
it's going to be me and you and, all of
Mhm.
these types of things. So now I believe that, again, she's not correct to go up and try to fight someone,
Yeah.
but you
Somebody at the
have
front
to
door.
take into account what she may have been told in order to
Mhm.
actuate her
Ain't
to
nobody
that.
talking about that, are
This
they?
is the
Yeah.
pastor's fault
Oh yeah. It.
100% all
Yeah.
the way.
Most
Definitely his
definitely.
fault.
Most
Definitely his. But here's the thing: how many times do you get told that story before we start
Yeah.
assigning blame to women who keep listening to the same story? He said he was going to leave his wife. How
right.
Yeah.
many
No.
times
And let
have
me tell you
like
exactly.
how many
Let me answer
generations
that.
and
Let me answer
variations of
that.
that story? Please do,
Right.
That
please.
generation, that is going to continue until a particular generation, hopefully this one, stops
Hopefully.
raising young girls to believe that her highest priority is marriage.
Yeah.
Wait a
As
minute
soon
now.
Like I said,
as people, wait a minute, let me finish. As
Got you.
soon as people stop telling young women
Hmm.
that their highest value is in a relationship, they won't be as blind as they are to these men who are lying to them, even
Hmm.
though they know better. They
Well, let me.
won't
so
be as easily persuaded by his lies
Mhm.
because his lies give her value when he is her everything and she is only an option for him. So when that changes, women will stop listening to these men who say, "Oh, baby, it's gonna be me and you. I'm gonna leave my wife for
who's
you," and all of this type of stuff.
spinning
They'll
these lies.
stop believing
Yeah.
that when they
So
have
he
a new basis for their own personal value.
Okay.
So I got a question, a follow-up question. Is it
Yes,
that they are being told this by society, or is it women competing against one another for that value of being a wife?
that
Because
is
I see women
strictly
competing with one another and
no,
saying
but
that
see,
I'm more valuable than you.
they do that
Because I'm a
because
wife.
of the inherent belief that their value is in having a relationship. So I have to be better than this other woman because I want that one out of a million available man. So
Mm.
society is made up of, we always say, they said this, they said that. Let me tell you who they are. They are your mom, your father, your cousins, your sisters, your brothers, the movies you see, the magazines you read, the tweets you repost. They collectively are
Mhm.
society. So what you're asking about the two different groups of people are actually one and the same. These women who are acting upon their own desire to be valued as demonstrated by some man's love, that competition begins between them because that's how they define their own value, because that's what people tell them. If you're 28 as a woman and you're not married with no kids, people figure something's wrong with you. But if you're a man 28 with no kids, the whole world is still your oyster. What's wrong with
Yeah.
28 male to woman? Nothing. Just the way that we act about it, just the way that we perceive it. When women stop valuing themselves by who they're related to, that will stop. If a woman doesn't have a husband or if she doesn't have any kids, people look at her like she's useless, like she's worthless. She's a spinster at 33, you know?
Mm.
Yeah.
And that's not
I, I
that's
see
not the way
girls.
that men are treated, because women are taught to prioritize marriage and relationships and men are taught to prioritize money, career, and success. That's why they're always on the different page about where the priority of a relationship should be.
Go ahead, Mark.
I was just saying that I see, being the father of daughters, and it makes you more aware of things, the development of girls than you were before, right? So
Yeah.
I see girls in elementary school, junior high school, who once some girls start getting attention because they're, maybe their bodies develop or they're a little pretty
Hmm.
girl or whatever,
Yeah.
then other girls start being angry or aggressive towards them because they're getting attention from boys. That's why I don't know if I could attribute it to society as much, because I see that level of envy starting at a very early age before they're even thinking about marriage.
But she's saying
Do
that that's
young
one and the
men do
same.
that
We
also?
are society, regardless. We are
Exactly.
what society is.
Yes, but
Yeah,
you also have to
but
consider young men do that too. If a guy going to a class and all of a sudden his classmate is 6 inches taller over the summer, getting all of the attention from young women, that envy starts with them too. That isn't gender
Yeah, that was
based.
me.
yeah, I
But
don't think we like guys aren't really as aggressive towards one another though. Like if like there's
yeah,
never been a guy who's like, look at that dude over there with all his muscles on his chest and stuff, thinking he's better than me. Like we don't really do that. We usually
right.
go in
I've
the
heard
gym
that.
and try and get a. I haven't heard it.
I
I
haven't heard
have
either.
indeed.
I haven't
In
heard.
all
I haven't
my
heard
in
that
all my
either.
years of guydom, I've never heard it.
Well, I was a
But
Are we
I was
good?
an
it
ugly
it
friend
happens.
in
I'm
my
sure it happens,
group,
but I've
so
never heard it though.
Yeah, I'm me. I
yeah, I
never
was
heard
an
that.
ugly friend in my group, so it didn't
Yeah,
really
because
Are
go
normally
you
if we do
guys?
that,
I love
because
it.
because normally if we do that, we're kind of conceding that guy is better than us, and our egos won't allow us to
Right.
concede that guy is better than us. So
Yeah.
we'll be like, well, if I get in the gym and I start, doing some push-ups, they're gonna be all on me too. Or else,
That's
if I had
exactly
money,
what
then
they
that's
say to
kind of how
get
we do.
out from that. You're
Yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely right. That's
But a
exactly
lot
what
of
they say to
women
get out
do.
of it.
A lot of women don't mind being side chicks. I mean, they got new shows.
Oh
and
That's what I
yeah,
was gonna
episodes
say. Listen,
coming out.
exactly.
That's
That's what I was
coming
gonna
out.
okay.
say.
They don't
See,
mind being a side chick. So
today,
yeah, they don't
today
mind.
is there's a new. A lot of women are not. This is, and I think this is the. There's a lot of women that don't
They aren't
they don't
ashamed of
understand.
it
They
anymore.
don't know.
they're not.
They don't
They
know, or
don't
they
care.
care to not know that the women today are very much different. There's a different I don't care today, right?
Yeah.
Whatever you
Yeah.
want to believe it or not, there's a different I don't care. So these women, there's a lot more women today okay with being the fourth chick. They're just
Yeah.
okay with it. There is
Yeah.
because it's being with someone over being alone. I have
Right.
somebody. There's
Yeah.
somebody
Yeah.
there, regardless
I
of the
think if
case.
we
Yeah.
ask grandma though, there was some women that was okay with being a side chick back in
No,
the
no,
day too.
Oh
absolutely.
yeah, most
Absolutely.
definitely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But see, the thing with
Yeah.
that,
It's
We
the
just
can
thing
more
with
talk
prevalent now.
about it.
the thing with back in the day is that grandpa was taking care of
It's more
everybody. You
prevalent
taking
now.
care of both families, three or everybody was getting taken care of well.
Yeah,
Today,
Yeah.
yeah,
it's just about the best pipe down I can get and the
Yeah.
best
yeah,
company I can get. You ain't got to give me
yeah.
nothing. But as long as I'm able to
Right.
call you, you can come over here and we can just be together, then we good. That's the
Yeah.
type of women, right? There's more women like that right today that is okay with that. I
There's
don't
more
have to
women.
bamboozle you anymore. I don't have to
Yeah,
sit
Right.
with you and be
Right.
like, yo, man, I got this, I mean, I got this. I don't have to lie to you anymore. I got a
Right.
wife.
You
There go
don't.
my
They
ring.
don't have to.
I got a
Yeah.
wife, and we
Do
can do
y'all?
what we could do from this, whatever. And she be
But
on board with it. Crazy.
it's alarming too that the men ask to want to be side dudes too. I've had a lot of dudes to ask me to be
Oh, yeah.
That's
for them to
I
be my
didn't
that's
want to
side.
be
crazy
side
too.
dude.
That ain't
I was forced
that
into being a side dude. I didn't like that.
that ain't
Why
nothing
you be
crazy.
forced to being a side dude,
I was
LaRon?
forced because I was married and I was
You
forced into
forced.
side
Hey,
duty.
hey,
I did not like that. I did not like it.
somebody
Yo.
mute
Look,
his microphone.
look, we don't.
How you
Us
were
fellas
forced
don't
to
mind.
be?
We don't mind being the side dude as long as
I
we're there
mind.
for a purpose. We
I
there to try
mind.
and get. We trying to dip our beaks. I'm trying to keep it PG. We trying to dip our beaks in what we can dip our beaks in. So we
I
don't care
mind.
about being
Let
the
me
side
let
dude
me
as
let
long
me
as
ask
we can get what we get.
Men
let
know
me
their
For the
put
most
this
position
part.
in that
question out
situation.
there.
Go ahead.
Let me put this question out there. If
That
we're keeping it PG, ha, guys just
Yeah.
want to
speaking with
dip
a
their beaks.
different
Okay,
head and heart.
there are guys for whom that is true, no doubt. There are guys for whom that is true, no doubt.
Yeah.
What do you make of the mentality of some guys who want to dip their beaks, but they only want that woman to let him dip it? They won't be in a relationship with her. They won't commit to her, but they don't want to let her be in a relationship with somebody else.
That's called
If
pimping.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
That's
pimping.
that's what that is. Yeah,
that's
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 He
if
pimping.
he
That's
pimping.
not the good kind of pimping.
Yeah,
That's the
no,
bad
no.
kind of pimping.
yeah.
That's the bad kind of pimping.
That's
Yeah.
Pimping.
yeah. Like
if
so. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
if he really is only with her just for sex, how does he justify leading her along emotionally so that she's committed to him when she knows he's not committed to her?
Well,
If
what I'm
it's
telling
just about sex, why does he want to do that?
He don't
There are
have
women
to.
who
That's what
ask
I'm
that
saying.
question all the time.
Yeah, no, well, he don't have to lead her on emotionally. This is what it is.
But
This
I'm
is what
saying
I'm
some of them will.
But he does.
Oh,
But he does.
Yes.
some will.
So-
Okay.
So we're talking about a power dynamic in that.
Yeah.
There's something that feeds the ego when I can control somebody
Right.
that I shouldn't be able to control. That's what made to go back to
Agreed.
pimping. That's what made
Yeah.
pimps different.
Yeah.
Is because one, we as men understand that women are susceptible to their ear gates. So
Mhm.
if we can get you to listen to us, then we can really kind of push things in a positive or a negative way. We can either empower you or we can break you down. We know that um, women are susceptible to that. Men are susceptible to what we see. So that's why women wear lipstick and dudes, get their mouth fixed. So if we, it's not about like, it's not about him him only wanting to be the one. Like there's dynamics in people who are in the swinger lifestyle where the dude can have sex with whoever he wants to, but the woman can only have sex with
With
the
him.
guy
Yeah.
and some other girl because she's fulfilling his fantasy. Because there's something misogynistic about that, of course, but there also is a lack of empowerment for her. For him, he gets the joy of I'm controlling the sexual narrative between me and her and somebody else. So that's a guy who is controlling, period. That's a guy who is not looking out for her best interest. It's not just about sex. He wants to have power over her also. A dude who just want to have sex, do not care if
Yeah.
you got to do.
What you doing? What you doing?
He don't care what you got going on. His
Mhm.
feelings aren't involved in it anyway.
Yeah.
He's just trying to smash, and then hey, we high five each other at work, or I say hi to you, man. Hey, how you doing, bro? I'm nice. Yeah. She talks
That's
about you all the
crazy.
time.
This is why.
Holler at me later. Look,
Woo.
that's.
Have
but
y'all
guys,
ever been? Go ahead, Mark. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, guys are more cool with that because we don't generally attach emotion to sexual
Yeah.
activity.
To the nut.
Yeah. Have y'all ever been approached by aggressive women like that who wanted to
Yes.
be your side chick?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Crazy.
Didn't care that you were in a relationship.
Crazy.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Crazy. I was
What
like,
about
Yeah, those
y'all?
are ones
Have
that
y'all ever been approached by men while y'all were in relationships?
I have.
hold up. Oh, wait a minute. I
If
thought
I
you were
heard the
asking us.
she
If
did.
I heard,
No. Let's make
I'm
that
in Indiana.
clear.
I'm not in Atlanta.
I was gonna
just
say-
making sure.
if I heard the question,
Different rules
Not on
up
the
here,
TMR show. Not on the TMR show. We straight.
yes.
Right over in here.
Yeah.
Ooh. But we're in Atlanta too, so
I'm
I
not.
was.
Go
If I
ahead,
heard the
Whitney.
question correctly, it was as women, had we ever been approached to take on a guy while we were in a relationship?
yeah. Have you ever been approached by a guy?
Oh, okay. No, I was going to answer the other way. I was going to say, I thought that you were asking if we as women had been invited to be the side chick.
I mean that
That
too.
too.
I've been
Have you ever
invited
been invited?
to be a side
Yes.
chick.
I
I've been invited to be a side chick, and a guy has asked me to be for him to be my side dude while in the
Offering.
Yeah,
It's a
that
gift.
offering.
so ladies, have y'all been in that position?
Yeah, I had them offering and like
Uh-oh.
I have, and they offered to take care of me and pay for everything and this and that.
Sugar daddy.
So I guess to be that kept woman.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
how guys do it with money. Women do it with showing cleavage.
With their with their bodies.
Thing.
Yeah. Evelyn, have you?
I've been invited to be the side chick, and no, obviously that did not go well for him. I don't
still hurt.
I don't remember if I was. I don't remember if I was propositioned by a dude to be the side, for him to be the side. I don't remember that because typically with the way that I conduct relationships, A lot
For tax
becomes
purposes.
water off a duck's back. If I am committed to him, he's committed to me. A lot of foolishness does not enter our sacred sanctum. It
No
does not.
doubt.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I don't remember some of the foolishness that's been said to me while I'm in a relationship. But
Yeah.
this other guy, particularly, I think I told you guys about him, that he wanted me to be number two, and like I said, that did not go well for him.
Well, listen,
Yeah.
this is why, and this is to go to your point, Evelyn. This is why relationship is so important. This is why it is important to teach boys and girls that relationship and marriage is very, very important, because once you enter these different lanes, once you there is so many types of relationships. There is so many options you can do. You can have so many polys. You can have there's a girl that made a video out, and she said she's in a solo poly relationship. So now she's dealing with this group. This group is now with this group. This group is dealing with that group. And if we all are, if we like, it's. I'm gonna send this
That's
to you.
called
It
an
is-
orgy.
Or
No,
yeah,
That's what that's called.
right,
For
right.
better
So
words, that's an
That's what we
orgy.
used to call it back in the day, but that's
That's an
they
orgy
got new
for better
terms.
Right,
words. So they just
right,
don't
right.
want
Yeah.
so
they
this is what I'm
change the
saying.
titles so that it won't look bad. And I hate
Exactly.
that.
This
Yeah.
Don't
and this
say
is
what it is.
this is
It's-
right.
There's
And this,
orgy. That's
y'all are
it.
correct. And this is why relationship is important, because when you have one, right, and that's your one, that's your person. But then when you start to include multiple people into your circle, it may work for some, whatever the case may be. I ain't knocking the situation. But my thing is,
Shout out to the orgies.
the more personalities that is entering your energy, your source, your space,
Mhm.
the more difficult it can be for you. The more, because
Yeah.
you're taking on multiple energies that's unnecessary. So now if you teach your daughter the importance of relationship, you teach your son the importance of make sure you marry and have the right woman, because that person can break you. That is highly important. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It is important
You
to
gotta-
teach these kids, because what it is we're not telling our kids about poly situations. We're not teaching our kids about orgies. We're not teaching our kids about dealing with multiple personality. We're not doing that. You know what I'm saying? And so we have to teach them, because they're going to be faced with these options. It's like, damn,
I don't know if that would be. I don't know how young do you start talking about poly relationships.
They're having sex at 11 years old.
You
Yeah,
These
I don't
middle
know.
schoolers are having sex.
Hey, I can tell you
tell-
But the thing
by
is,
You
though,
pause-
you have to be
You
careful with
pause
that.
Paw Patrol, and then you tell them about the orgies that take. Now, you know what? Let's
Peppa Pig.
truthfully,
Dora
Peppa
the
Pig. You
Explorer
call
is a
Peppa
new thing
Pig.
These kids getting pregnant at 14, y'all. 13,
I mean,
14.
They
that
are.
is
That's
true.
true. That's
Right,
true.
that is true. They are exposed to sex early.
Yeah.
That's no doubt.
Yeah.
But the whole relationship, unless you're born into the whole sister wives tribe, and then
Yeah.
you may be. But I mean, I
Woman
guess
is-
the conversation you can talk to you have a sit down discussion, like let's talk about the different types. Yeah, I
you
guess.
know
But-
You know
what
what's-
is
Oh,
you
sorry.
can't help but talk about the conversation because it's on TV now. It's everywhere.
Yeah, it's
it's
everywhere.
purposely being put in every
It's
sitcom,
true.
Yeah,
every
everything.
new show's coming
Even in the
out. You
cartoons.
have to have.
Yeah.
It seems
Yeah.
like every show now has to have a same-sex relationship going
Yep.
on.
Yeah.
If
Yep.
you don't,
Yep.
it's like they're gonna get carded, gonna get
Yep.
fined if you don't have
Yep.
that
They'll
going
be
on.
called phobic.
Yes.
And it's
I think
Yes.
like what you do with your kids is you teach them that in a relationship they're supposed to get as much out of that relationship as the other person does. So
Yeah.
you tell your daughters that it's not just your job to love that man good, it's also his job to love you. You tell
No
your
doubt.
sons that it's not just your job to love that woman, she has to
Right.
love you too. And this is what love looks like. And that's kind of what the descriptor of what how you introduce relationship to the kids, right? Because a lot of times girls are taught that they need to be pretty. They when they get older, they need to be sexy. They need to be able to do all these things to a guy, and that's what determines their worth in a relationship. But they're never really taught like you're supposed to want to do these things, not because you have a fear of losing that man, but because he treats you so well that
Right.
you want to love
Right.
on him the way
Reciprocate.
that,
Right.
yeah. And
Right.
he's supposed to do the same thing.
same
And
thing.
guys, sometimes little boys who are taught to be good men are not taught how to receive love from
Correct.
women or
Correct.
how to look for good women. They're taught
Correct.
to throw this love on every woman that they
Yeah. They come
date, and
across.
then they end up brokenhearted and Kevin
Yeah.
Samuel
Yeah.
fights. That's what.
Right.
That's where they
Listen,
end up.
let me switch gears for a moment and do these business shout outs. Listen, we have Hair by Tatiana, Latressa A. Crawford, Executive Life Coach, DJ Johnny Prince, DJ Services, Women Are Dope by Chelsea Speets, I Can Beat MS, and The Plush Lab. And for more information on these businesses or sponsorships, visit IG's The Mailroom 7671 page. And if you would like to be a sponsor or have your business shout out, email me at ygm7671 or DM me and we'll get you connected. So listen, we're gonna switch gears. We're still talking about the side chick,
Okay.
yeah, but we're gonna talk about the other side chick.
Uh-oh.
We're gonna talk about this. LaRon, you have the hey Tatiana.
Yeah,
How you doing? Let me pull up the video of the other side chick that we're talking
she
about
crazy.
today, which is yes, she crazy. She I don't know which is
Oh,
no,
my sister Tatiana, she's crazy. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, what you say?
She
I
crazy.
ain't saying Tatiana.
Man,
I didn't say that you were crazy. I didn't say it. That was Prince that said it. So remember that face. Hold on.
Interact with the phone more than we interact with any other human being, including our own spouses sometimes. So many complaints of people. There was a sister who said, you know, my husband comes from work and he's on his phone. He speaks to me perhaps for a few minutes in the day. He's on his phone and he just doesn't get off the phone. He brings it to the table, he takes it to the toilet, and he does everything, just his phone. And I told her, I said, sister, have you tried talking to him, telling him, look, it's too much. You know, you're on your phone all along. And she says, he can't hear me. He doesn't hear me. Unless I make some content and, you know, come onto his phone. He might see me on the phone, but he's not going to see me in real life. So she decides, some time later, she contacted me and said, you know what, we had a big problem. I said, why? She said, because I decided to do the same thing. And so I was on my phone all the time and he's on his phone. When he came home, I didn't even respond. And then when he started saying, why are you on your phone all the time? I told him, all along you've been on your phone and you expected me to ignore it. I'm on my phone just now because I want to prove something to you. And here you are exploding. Don't you understand? But this is a reality. Anyway, their problem was solved after some time where they reached an agreement.
All right. All right.
Hey, can we at first acknowledge that his beard game was on point?
Man, that dude's beard was nice. I thought I was the only one, but I was like,
I thought he was an AI when I first saw it. And I'm like, that's real?
Like, that brother's barber is doing the Lord's work right
Yeah.
there.
Big game. Y'all better get y'all stuff together. Y'all better get the kids together.
Let me get it. Let me say.
Yes.
See what I'm talking about, baby.
Hey,
you know what?
I'm looking back.
It's not anything bad. It's funny with us, but I joke with my wife all the time because we always be playing with wood all the time, and I get jealous because she be playing with wood and not me because she be on her game. And she be
oh, I thought you was talking about your wood. Hold on, wait a minute.
Yeah, I'm like, bro,
it would be nice,
like, bro. I'm like, is we just having a normal conversation? And like, he just threw it in there like I was watching dishes. Like,
Ryan, you about to get me cut off.
Yeah. And he complaining about it? Like, you upset? Like,
it's a game out.
I was like,
yeah. It's wood pieces, and you know, I have to say, man, you know,
It's the
the
monochromatic Tetris. That's what it is.
Lord, yo,
It's like, you gotta make it plain, bro. You gotta You can't just throw that out there, bro.
Yeah.
Land
You know.
the plane, brother. Land the plane, brother. Because you had
I'm
me like, what?
But
Yeah,
still,
but
though,
in the phone, that phone, the devices, tablet,
Yeah.
I'm guilty of it. Me and Chef, we're in this space that that we're in with the whole technology, all of that, because one, I'm sorry. I do stay on my devices, and right now, especially in the business, while I'm doing business, I'm on my computer, and I have to make and we've had this discussion, because I'd be like, you on your phone, and he'd be like, you on your phone too, and I'd be like, but I'm doing business, I got an iPhone. You ain't doing no business on a Samsung. You know,
Right.
to justify
So that's different.
I'm like, I'm doing this, but it really,
What an iPhone got to do with it?
Come on now. Come on. Listen, y'all.
I'm
iPhone
just
is better.
saying,
Listen, y'all.
iPhone, we can do everything on ours. What can y'all do?
Yeah.
If you ain't got an iPhone,
We can do
you got a
everything.
iPhone.
We can do everything for about
Everything in
$500 less.
And then some.
Everything for about $500 less. That's basically what we could do.
Now, that new
Now
Samsung
you
like
ain't never lied
$1,200.
on that one. But and it is a problem. It is becoming a problem. So we've been trying to cut screen time, because Screen'Isha is the side chick for the both of us.
No doubt.
Like,
Yeah.
I can admit that for me, I would scroll, like, even if I'm taking a break. So like for me, when I wake up, I don't get on the phone at all. For like I get up at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, and that's my prayer meditation time with God. That's my first time with Him. And then I even have my device set that I can't go on screen, until 7 or whatever. And so I'm making a conscious effort, not only for my personal, but for my relationship, because it is a problem. Like, we stay on those screens, like, and that's why I said Screen'Isha is the side chick right now for a lot of couples in relationships, because we stay scrolling and everything is, and not just on the devices, but when you think about TV, but you have your computer, your phone, I don't know.
Well, I think
my wife wakes up and pick the phone up when she get
You
ready
say
to go
what?
to bed. I have to snatch the phone from her sometimes. That hey, put the wood down. You can't be doing that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh, the game. Okay, the
We're
game.
gonna have to cut this audio.
So bad. Oh my goodness.
We're gonna have to cut this audio and like play. Just
Can you
keep
just
it
say
playing. Put the wood down. Put
the
wood
game? Just the game.
Game now. It's a
It
wood
sounds better
game.
when he said wood.
I know, because I have it on my phone.
Oh, God.
Putting the pieces
Oh,
together.
so you be playing with the wood too? Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It sound like playing with the wood. Okay, all right, that's good.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Okay, all right.
And
God.
I mean, and you distracted, but the thing about it, yeah, I saw that, Evelyn. I do have I'm supposed to order that game, the Valentine's Day game. Yeah. And so we're having to bring out the conversation cards and things of that, and making it intentional date nights without phones, without devices, and so forth. So my question is, have y'all experiencing, or are y'all experiencing Screen'Isha the Sidechicks? And if you do, how are you getting rid of them?
I'm on the phone often, but the difference between people like you and I, TaShon, is that we know how to put the phone down. There's minutes we take, things that we're trying to do, with our companies that requires us to be on the phone. Often, well, me at least. I can't speak for you, but I know I'm on the phone often. But I know how to put the phone down. But in a lot of instances, a lot of other relationships, that is a main problem. People just don't know how to separate themselves from the phone. There's always they always have it on them, they're always on. So that is the main issue. How can we do that? Especially in a situation, in a relationship, you just gotta just put the phone down. You have to. There's something that you gotta do, that you gotta understand that this is hurting y'all.
Boundaries times.
Yeah, give yourself those
When-
boundaries. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. You gotta tell yourself, listen, I'm gonna do this, and I'm not gonna pick the phone up. Go ahead.
Right.
Also, I think this is a perfect example of how interconnected people are in relationships, and how it's important for you to choose your relationship partner wisely because you are yielded to their influence and they to yours. I remember a long time ago, I was dating this guy and he had his phone glued right here all the time, all the
Yeah.
time. And he was really, really professional. He had 2 careers and a lot of noteworthy activity just in the community and things of that sort. So he had good reason to be on his phone often. I accept that, but I told him I am busy as well. That's why we don't get a lot of time together. So when we are together, I need you to turn that phone off.
No doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah.
And I
Uh-huh.
remember a specific conversation that we had. When I told him this, he said, I hear what you're saying. I'm showing up at your house at 6:45. There's a call that I'm looking for at 7 o'clock. Once I get that call, because it's important, I need to get that call. And after that, I will turn my phone off and it's me and you the rest of the night. And I said, okay. So we're small talking about the weather, about sports, about whatever else we're talking about. He gets this call at 7:02. He stepped away and he talked for a few minutes with that call. And when he came back into the room with me, when I say he stepped away, we were in the living room. He stepped to my kitchen and then he came back and he put his phone down and we just continued talking. And then it occurred to him, wait a minute, I didn't turn it off. He picked it up and turned it off on purpose while he
No
saw
doubt.
me looking at him. And that was how that went. So I
Okay.
tell that story to make the point that it isn't just always our own responsibility.
Yeah.
It's our consideration of the person that we're spending time with or that
No doubt.
person who is there with us that can help us to try and use in moderation the time that we're on our devices.
Agreed.
Yeah. When
Nah. Agreed.
when I was
So it's just
helping to
communicating
build
with each other in regards to that and setting up those boundaries with each other.
Yes.
when I was helping to build a internet radio station, most of the stuff that we did was online. We had to promote. We had to, we were looking for content. I had a show, so I was looking for content for the show. So it's you are doing work when
Yeah.
you're on your phone, but you have to understand that these devices are also curtailed to distract you, right?
Yeah,
Like they
absolutely.
have people who have done the research to
Yep.
say, okay, if I have somebody swiping up, that will make them stay on the device
Yep.
longer than if
Mhm.
they swipe left or right, right? So, and
Mhm.
if we have a certain color scheme, that'll make them want
Yep.
to look at the screen long. Like we
Yep.
have to understand that it's not a inherent weakness in you that's
Mhm.
making you want to look at these devices longer.
No, they coming after you.
They're doing it on
Yeah,
purpose, right?
on purpose,
So,
definitely.
Absolutely.
so you
Yes.
have to be intentional when it comes to I
Letting go
have
of it.
time with this person.
Mhm.
I need to set aside that time and put my phone down. I don't need to be looking at Facebook while I'm talking to a person. Like the art of dialogue and conversation, it seems to be going by the wayside because people are allowing themselves to be more distracted. So you have to be intentional when you're trying to get to know somebody, when you're trying to talk to them, and be like, okay, let me put this phone down. Let me look you in the eyes. Like there's certain things that people are forgetting how to do. Like I'm gonna look
Yeah.
you in the eye when I talk to you.
Right. Right.
When I'm gonna listen to what you say, and then I'm gonna ask a follow-up question to what you said to
Right.
get more information about it. Like those things are like are skills that people are kind of losing because they're used to commenting
That's
and
right.
giving a take on somebody's a post or something like that. So you got
And
to be intentional.
they've also become used to not being punched in the mouth for being disrespectful.
Man, come on
Yeah.
now,
Yeah.
come on,
Come on now.
now,
Come on now.
because that's where I'm
Come
from.
on now. For real.
Social media has become the epicenter of toxicity because
Yeah.
people have an anonymity that they wouldn't have
Right.
if they were face to face. So
Mhm.
if I say something that someone doesn't agree with, they answer on social media and call me everything but a child of God. Whereas
Mhm.
Yeah,
if I was
yeah,
sitting across from them, there's no way they would do that. Now, granted, I don't necessarily look like I can, hip toss 300 pounds, but
Scratch somebody out of that. You just,
Shoot 'em.
yeah, I can do that. But the idea is, as a part of that dialogue art that's being lost, is just the common respect for other people's opinions, the respect for what other people have to say, just the consideration that person speaking is actually a person, not an avatar, not a computer, not the internet. And it really bothers me when people say the internet is mean, the internet has done that, the internet is this. Because if you think about the alphabet is inherently neutral. If you do good things with it, then it's good. If you do bad things with it, then it's bad. The internet is like the alphabet. If you do good things with it, then it can be used for good. That's what we're here for. But if you use it for bad things, then those bad things become a manifestation of your intent, whether it was online, in person, or through somebody else. So when people say the internet is mean, they absolve that person from their choice in that bad action. And I think that's very dangerous as a society, that we're saying people can do bad things and never in any way be held accountable.
Yeah.
exactly. I want people to know that when I make statements that may offend, I am fully
Aware of it.
desiring the smoke,
Exactly.
right? Like,
I'm the
like
same way.
I'm
the same way.
I mean exactly what I say. And if you say to me, well, I will kick your this, that, and the other, I get excited by that. That turns me
man. Oh man.
I want that to happen. You know what I'm saying?
That's the Indiana in you.
I got about 5 good fights left in me. About 5 of them. And
Me too. Me too.
I want to spend them before they go, before they go bad. So, just know that I mean what I say, and I'm saying exactly what I mean, and I am willing to stand on what I'm saying. That's just PSA. Just want to let people know.
And people really do take, when those comments, I be watching the comments, and people really do go ham in on the comments.
Yeah.
Like there was I was fat shamed on TikTok by this lady because she got mad because as a teacher at that time, I'm like, listen, when they re-entered when they were removing the mask, right? And I remember made a little TikTok. This lady came at me about the whole political, sis, how would you do? And then next thing I know, and I'm like polite, I say, hey, as a teacher, you shouldn't be doing this to the kids. You shouldn't be this was her tone, right? She even made responding videos. How dare you make the children wear masks, this, that, and another. And then, I said, okay, I backed off. Then next thing I know, the next one, she was like, how unhealthy you are, you fat.
Oh my goodness. Oh my.
Oh, I was like, and she was like, and you fat and unhealthy, and you're talking about health. I said, okay.
Oh my.
So I politely say, hey, in public, I'll say, hey, black, brown, beautiful woman. I said, listen. I said, calling me fat at this age, don't do jack to me. Now, if you had called me fat back in high school, middle school, come with another. And I said, come with another insult. Like really, calling me fat at this age, I'm 50. Calling me fat at this age, I'm 48, 49.
Oh my God.
And so, and I said, hey, so we resorting to, and I made a public video. I said, so we're resorting into name calling. Over what? Over mandated mask. I said, I'm not agreeing or disagreeing with, I literally stayed calm in the situation. But the fact was that you become so comfortable in bullying people over these devices. And she came back and publicly apologized for her comment, because it's like, you're all in your emotions or whatnot. All of this stuff, it doesn't, but for you to start being bullied, to be a bully and then call me fat, girl, bye. I'm like, shoot,
that's why you gotta
handle that in such a professional way. You handle that so well. Me, I've been like, there's a Walmart on
Lafayette. The address.
Yeah.
Now
at 3 o'clock. I'll be there. I've done this before. I'm telling you, I've done this before. At 3:00, I'll
Listen.
be at this Walmart. Look for this color car. Come talk to him.
I would
I
have
would
found some
say
sort of
come
flaw she got.
on, but my sister, who's a Gemini, which sometimes
Oh Lord have mercy.
she jumped on.
She was
I
ready
had to
for war.
delete her because she like
Yeah,
you, Mark.
she was ready
She's
for
like,
war.
"Where you at?" She was like, "Where you at?" Because what you not gonna do?
I ain't talking about.
I was like, Lisa, it's not that serious. She don't do that. I said, Lisa, it's not that serious. Just let it go.
Oh, my God.
And so I was like, because if you start jumping back on my sister
Shout out to
now, I
Lisa.
can't fight. But
Yeah.
but it was just the audacity that people do get behind the screens and the keyboards, and they become ignorant. And it's like, come on, people. It's first of all, you can't talk, and this
No,
is the
people can't
boldness
talk.
that
No, they
yeah,
can't.
people can't talk,
That's
and
the
it's just,
issue. And
yeah,
that's the issue with social media. You people, it is a safe place to be ignorant, stupid,
yep.
non-accountable. You don't got to be accountable
Yeah.
on social media. You know
You
what I'm saying?
don't.
So
It's
now when
reality TV on it now.
exactly.
Yeah.
So when you dealing with an actual person, an actual people, actual people, and you're not none of those things, you're emotional, you fly off at the mouth, you ain't got to be accountable, you're gonna get handled in a manner. You're gonna get punched in your mouth, you're gonna get knocked out, you're gonna get hurt.
People who grew up fighting don't go looking for fights.
Not
But they
exactly.
will fight.
But
Right?
they won't fight.
Exactly.
So
Yeah,
and
I
those aren't the
agree.
same people who will be, on there.
Right.
People, if I was in front of you, I'd
Right.
smack the stage. Okay, well, come on down to the Piggly Wiggly. And,
That's right.
And do it.
That is right, Stephanie. You're right, Stephanie.
Yeah, Stephanie, it does. Screen'Isha, gives a lot. And I'm just not referring to Screen'Isha as a female. I want to make that clear because I don't want nobody coming at why she gotta be a girl. Why she gotta do that?
Shut up.
Look,
It could be
Screen
anybody. It could
by
be
It's a
anybody.
good, yeah.
Exactly.
You
It
know,
don't roll off the tongue like Screen'Isha.
Right,
You know what
right.
I'm saying? Y'all deal with
yeah,
it.
It's a
because
Screen'Isha. It's a Screen'Isha too.
Screenshot. That's because because a lot of dudes get behind and they be calling. I be watching the guys like they be like, "Yo, I've seen guys call other men, BANs and all of this." I'm like, "Dude, are y'all serious?"
And I
Like,
Men are worse. Men
I'm
are
not-
worse.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell
men are
you,
for real
men are
worse. Yes.
Yeah.
That is the point to which I was speaking earlier when we dealt with the idea that young women are socialized in a certain way, and then it looks like men aren't socialized that same way. In a lot of respects, they are, because that toxicity does not have a gender, but what you cultivate. So when you have movies like Mean Girls that renew every 20 some odd years, yes, you expect for them to do that, but the same type of toxicity is being imparted male to male through other means.
Yeah.
And they are just as it's not even deleterious at this point. We know that it's causing problems. We know that it's not healthy. We know that the outcome is not going to be positive as it would have been in past situations. I was just thinking about this the other day, how enabled society has become in doing these things stems from one pivot point. When I was little, we grew up by this concept called don't shoot the messenger. When people say stuff that you don't like, whatever they said is not their fault if it's true.
Yeah.
Deal with what that truth is without being upset at the person who delivered that truth to you. Now, if people hear something that they don't like, they feel empowered to attack the person who said it. Just like the woman that TaShon was describing a minute ago. You shouldn't make the children wear these masks. The masks were her problem. That's what she was complaining about. But why did that need to become a personal attack on the person speaking about masks?
Right.
That whole transition from dealing with the issues to dealing with the person is part of why society exists in the condition that it does today.
Thank you very much. I agree.
That happens in person to person communications also. Like there are people who don't know how to communicate. And then when you get into when you having a conversation with them and you critique something that they say or they do, then all of a sudden they want to attack you personally because they don't know how to
Accept the
effectively
truth.
communicate. Yeah. Every time you say something about them, it feels like an attack. Every time you assess something, hey, this isn't the best thing. You could possibly do this better. Oh, well, why are you always trying to tell me what to do and da 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 da. So it's an emotional immaturity and an inability to communicate. And if you teach your children how to communicate effectively, then they become adults that can communicate effectively. And every time somebody levies not an accusation, but just a critique, then they don't have to go off the rails and act like that person's taking a personal attack.
Listen, Cat Williams proved to the world. Cat Williams proved to the world
that dude came out fine.
All you gotta do to bruise somebody's ego, if they bruise their pride, tell the truth. That's all you gotta do. Everybody, and the funny thing about that is that I have not heard not one time so far yet that somebody said he's wrong. Everybody attacked him.
They have not said that he was wrong. They said some things, but they didn't say he was wrong.
Right. Correct. They didn't say he was wrong. So this is how you know you're dealing with the emotional world.
Ludacris told him in a rap.
No, that's
it was not him saying that he was wrong.
The man accused you of going into a gay club. He confirmed that you was in there.
To get that deal.
When was the last time we saw Ludacris with them sideburns? When?
And
Ludacris with the sideburns on?
And Luda's defense, how many clubs in Atlanta are gay clubs? Like how you know what I'm saying? Like how
every
many
one of them, all of them.
I was wondering,
like throw a rock and you're gonna find a gay club in Atlanta.
I know that main one on was the beat Bulldogs. I know that one. I don't know about that one.
It's Bulldog or it's full of Bulldogs? Which one?
It's called. It's that name, but it's called.
Hey, wood everywhere.
Wow. Hey. Yeah,
right, Tressa. Effective communication isn't taught. It is not. I mean, we do. We get the balls. We get the gauze to go on. And we oust everyone. Now, I'm not saying I agree with Kat. I'm not disagreeing with Kat, but we get little. We get in there and we're like,
we don't have to agree.
Everybody.
It's the truth.
What is my thing with Kat?
You ain't got to agree with the truth.
Everybody say that he was wrong. And they say shouldn't allow him to do that. But my thing is, those people before him is what started it.
Yeah.
So, I'm like, you coming and you're like stroking your ego pretty much saying I'm this and I'm that. And always, and what my thing is with social media, people tend to go after, like with you, Sean, go after what they think is a weaker point of view instead of the main source.
Yeah.
Because you ain't say nothing about it's not your fault that you put the mask on or you want to keep the mask on. The government said put the mask on. So why aren't you in the front of the White House with your picket knife or whatever,
picket sign.
Or whatever, and going after the government. So I just think that it was a defense on him to just say, hey, I'm not tied up in the stuff that y'all are tied up in, and I can speak and walk my truth. Y'all can't.
But this is my issue with that.
That's the truth. They can't.
It may be some truth because he exaggerated on a lot of stuff. He did exaggerate some stuff.
Not a lot.
But we also have to understand that it was a marketing marketing tool. He made bukus of money from that.
1,700 city stores. Who else?
Everybody's still talking about
1,700 city stores. Who else did that?
Right. He has his tour that's coming out, and he brought all these people on his tour. So to me, also, it's a marketing tool. For Shannon, his like we said before, is shot up. They making money. Cat made more money.
It's a great podcast anyway. But I'm glad he did that on that.
Yeah, because when you look at him, and they've been saying the same thing, but he didn't go and oust everybody like that either, too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he didn't. Yeah.
The difference being like Cat Williams. Cat Williams is black famous.
Yeah.
But while Steve Harvey and them are trying to be universally famous, they want to be famous to white folks and black. So when they get like their mindset is when I get to a certain echelon, then I'm gonna button up my tie. Like Cedric ain't gonna say the same jokes that he said when he was on Comic View. You know, Steve Harvey ain't gonna do the same material that he was doing when he was younger. Meanwhile, Cat Williams is still doing the same kind of joking, like because he's talking to black people. His audience is black people. So if he had nothing to lose because he's not pushing to like comedians. The blueprint for comedians
white folks too, though.
No, he did.
Cat Williams, he don't mind white folks, but his audience isn't white folks. His audience is black folks.
Like that.
So like the blueprint for comedians was you get on stage, you do well, you get a TV, you do a special that does well, you get a TV show, then you start doing movies. Eddie Murphy, Kevin Hart. That's the blueprint. Cat Williams hasn't shown that he's trying to do that same blueprint because when you get to doing the movies and stuff, you can't offend white people. You can't tell white people jokes.
And that's what my point was. I'm not wrapped up in that money that y'all wrapped up in. So I can say and walk the way I want to walk and have no problems. Ain't nobody taking nothing from me. I ain't got to worry about nobody pulling my contract.
That's what he said.
Or whatever, because I'm making my own money.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, your boy Steve made tens of millions of dollars off the idea of a woman acting like a man and thinking like a late, like come on now, like nobody said nothing about
too.
Tens of millions of dollars. That
ate it up.
Well, I got my book, so what? I got my book. It's right there on my shelf.
I'm gonna act like a man. I'm gonna think like a man. I'm gonna talk like okay. All right.
I got my book.
When that notion first became publicized, it was ridiculous to me in some facets.
Yeah.
Because this is a confession right here. This is a confession right now. Everybody just
hold on, play us right quick.
Wait a minute. Before you do that, before the break, before the confession, hold on, y'all. Hold on. We gotta take a quick pause. Oh shoot, where is it? Hold on. Because I gotta make sure I got something in my cup. Hold on.
She about to spill it all right. I got to hear my friend.
I want to get this. I want to get there. Look, I can't even find it. Evelyn, hold on. Here we go.
Okay.
The mail room, I be tuned in. Listening to TaShon, she be going in.
Y'all.
Black queen for us black kings. We can learn a thing or two when we're locked in. One of the few places we can be heard.
Facts,
man, I rocks with her, that's my word. The show is enlightening, engagement always enticing. I'm always come with an open mind, I'm never frightened. Guaranteed to walk away with minerals. Now that I'm thinking everything else is minuscule. Rid of fools who don't protect black women. No arguing, disrespect, and that's it. Please come in peace when you call in. Cause our friends ain't no slouch, fair warning. The mail room, messages from him. Y'all better listen if you wanna win. The mail room to stay, the mail room, yes, it's here to stay. Messages from him, tune in. The mail room to stay, the mail room, yes, it's here to stay. Messages from him, tune in. The mail room to stay, the mail room, yes, it's here to stay. Messages from him, tune in. The mail room to stay, the mail room, yes, it's here to stay. Messages from him, tune in.
And we are back. And again, this is the mail room messages from him podcast. And if you would like a business shout out or commercial, hit us up and we'll get you on here. We're also looking for sponsors for the mail room. So if you would like to be a sponsor of the mail room, let me know. Let me know. Let me know. All right. So before we took that quick break in our commercial until we get Evelyn was going to look at Mark. Oh, wait a minute, I got y'all muted. Look, we were taking our little commercial break and so forth. But before we left, I got me something in my cup. It's water though. But go ahead, Evelyn. What's your confession?
Go ahead.
On the idea of Steve Harvey's book, Act Like a Lady, Think Like a Man, when that notion first became prevalent in society, to be honest with you, my confession was, you all are really overthinking this completely. I have been told that I think like a man almost my entire life. And the idea behind that was, what I began to hear people mean when they said that was this. I have a very logical approach. I'm very analytical, very methodical, very procedural in certain types of ways that certain things are applied. So it didn't bother me at first. It was funny. It was a joke. Oh, you think like a man, said so many women. And when people began to say that over and over again, it started to bother me after a while, because I felt like they were insinuating a logically thinking woman is so far out of character for her that in order for a woman to be that logical, she's acting like a man. And I felt like that was, I didn't know how to explain to them at that time how much heresy that is. So now with this whole new concept with the book, Act Like a Lady, Think Like a Man, do these things and be feminine outwardly, but be as conniving and backstabbing as the guys are, so that you don't get your relationship all confused.
Yeah.
I laughed genuinely when people started to say, he's been divorced all these many times. What does he talk about relationships for as often as he does? I read the book because I wanted to see what
it's his wife who needs to make a book.
Call the come up.
That's one of my coach. You ain't the layout for that. That's what I'm saying.
That wasn't delayed.
Out of here. Yeah. And
that was right on time.
That was right on time. Yes. That was right on time. Now, for his content, while I do agree that more women should apply logic where they leave themselves left and driven by emotion, I don't know that his application of it was the most efficacious for men or women, especially not as they interrelate with each other.
We knew exactly what he meant when he said "think like a man." Come on now, let's cut it. I hear what you're saying, Daryl. I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying, right? And it's good. See, first of all, women are automatically logical. They just choose to remain in a certain energy. Women are not stupid. Women are highly logical. Y'all, there is so much that y'all are able to bear that we can't. Right? Y'all have a certain type of logic that is unmatched. Let's start there. All right. He was talking about doing what men do. Doing what men do. Think like a lady and do what men do. You won't get further that way. You'll get further that way. That's what he was
going in that direction now, if you think about it, guys.
Well, see, the problem is you're being a man. So now you take the idea of doing what a man does, and now you're okay. So you're left with what? You're a woman.
The reason that I'm sorry. The reason that I felt that was as harmful and dangerous as advice as it was is that most of the time when women act like men, they're acting like the worst of him. They're acting like the worst that he can do. He's sleeping around and now she wants to. He's making all this money and keeping it to himself, not sharing it. Now that's what she wants to do.
Exactly what
She's always doing the worst of what he's doing.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's not healthy for him, and it's really not healthy for her. The problem is society accepts it from him and condemns it for her. It reveals a different layer of the same problem.
There's a double standard.
What you say, Tressa?
Say what you Coach said something else good. Say it, Tressa.
I was saying, why act like y'all know I'm on this delay, but I was saying, why act like a man when you were created as a woman? Why act like a man? Women are logical creatures too. We're highly intelligent too. We have a different type. Now, our logic, we have a different way of thinking and pattern of thinking than men who are also logical and critical thinking beings too.
As well.
But why do I have to think like this man when I was created as a woman and I have my own logic? I have my own creativity. I have my own. I mean, I just don't. I don't.
Hold on, Johnny. Don't be amening somebody saying they have their own logic. Don't do that.
What's wrong with
Johnny and the amen cry, I got to call you out, bro. Wait. I got my own logic. Don't do that, Johnny. Like, yeah, you got your own logic. No.
Here's the answer.
That's part of the problem, huh?
Here's the answer to that question. Here's the answer to that question.
But you know, I mean, as logic as left brain, right brain. There are different types of logic. You have the left brain thinking.
No, I heard.
Yeah.
So in that, and
here's the part of the
was I delayed with that?
No.
A little bit.
Yeah, Whitney.
A part of the answer to that question, even if it was rhetorical, a part of the answer to that question is the things that are used to define masculinity are automatically attached to the male. And the things that are used to define femininity are automatically attached to the female when those things don't necessarily have gender inherent value. For perfect example, earning money. Earning money is not male, it's not female. It's an adult thing that you need to do to provide for yourself, whether you're married or not. But all of a sudden, everybody in the world says that when a woman is making more money than the man, she's acting like a man because they've attributed the earning money to the masculine, even though it is inherently gender neutral. So to your question, people want to, you ask, why do women want to act like men? Is that really what she's doing? Or is she accused of that because society wants to structure gender in such a way that any deviation makes the other out of line? And that's a control factor more than it is a statement regarding the propriety of her actions and control factor in general. And the other thing I wanted to say about that is, as far as logic is concerned, this logic question, then we get back to Screen'Isha and Screen'Shawn. This with the logic thing, I proffer to you all today that logic is not as objectively structured as most people think it is. And let me show you why. Logic is a prescribed outcome given a set of input circumstances. So if those input circumstances change, what is logical as an outcome also changes. Let me give you an example. Flowers. Everybody has seen flowers. If you water a flower and you give it sunlight and you feed it, it is logical that that flower will grow. If you have the same flower and you don't give it water, you don't feed it, you don't give it sunshine, it is logical that that flower will die. So in one set of circumstances, what is logical is one thing, and in the opposite set of circumstances, what is logical is the opposite thing. This is the area where a lot of men and women fight. A lot of men and women argue because her logic is considering a different set of circumstances than his. And he is not emotionally positioned to recognize the input factors of her logic because he's the one who logic is attributed to. So in his own mind, his logic is right and hers is just wrong.
That's a wrong analogy for that. That's a wrong analogy because that logic has nothing to do with the growth of that flower. That's this knowledge. If you know
I'm talking about the prescribed outcome. If you do a certain set of things, you expect a certain set of things to happen. When you do a different set of certain things, you expect a different set of certain things to happen. And by that application, both things are logical, even when they yield the opposite result.
So let me offer this, because I partially agree, but I'm gonna say 60-40 disagree in this way.
Bring the smoke. Come on, bring the
in
smoke.
this way, right? So I've had a lot of different jobs. One of them was being a bouncer. I'm big, so flew right into that job. But the thing that I always find out is that the most aggressive and most illogical of the patrons that we had to deal with were always young women. A guy would see a guy who's bigger than him who's saying, "Hey, brother, I need you to calm down, all right? Because we trying to have a good environment here." And he might say something else, but he's gonna bring it down, right? A little 5'2", 110-pound girl, you can say the exact same thing to, and she's looking. I got the stats off of Google, but you'll say the same thing to, and she's gonna try and grab a bottle, or she doesn't care. Like the cops are there, she doesn't care.
Yeah, she don't care.
People got guns trained on her. She doesn't care. That's not logical.
Yeah, that's not
logical.
That
is emotional.
That's emotional.
That is emotional. I've been there, done that.
What are you considering her input factors? If her input factors are all emotional, then that's what becomes logical for her to do.
Yeah, but if it's illogical, just because it's her, that's why I was getting on Johnny for talking about, everybody got their own logic. No, they don't. Don't do that.
They don't. You're right about that.
If somebody pulls a gun on you, then it's logical to believe that they're going to pull the trigger and your life is going to end. It's not logical to believe that you're going to be able to go into the Matrix mode and dodge the bullet because you're so upset, or somehow you got extra anger or something like that. That's illogical. You might think you can.
To go that far is wrong. I'll agree with you. Going that far is wrong. But suppose one input factor is that one of the people who doesn't shriek from the gun. Suppose one of the input factors is the other person in the room knows the gunman. So the person who knows the gunman has an input factor that's going to determine what's logical for them to do. That's going to be different from what the person who doesn't know the gunman will think is logical.
No, you make no, girl. Listen.
That's where wisdom comes into play, right? So let me tell a story that is that's close to home and that's not funny at all, and it's just to belay the point that sometimes logic has to take precedent over how you feel or what you think. My niece.
I always agree with that, by the way.
Yeah. My niece in Michigan. She was dating this guy. It was a toxic relationship. Me and my sister had just talked about it. We were talking about, hey, we're gonna pray that she gets through this patch in her life and she recognizes, how she needs to love herself and stuff like that. My niece was recording. Her name is Isis Mackey. She was shot by her boyfriend while she was on live. The dude was loading his gun, talking about, "I'm gonna shoot you," and she was like, "No, you ain't." Now this is a guy she had been dating, and she assumed that because one, she had her phone recording, and two, they had been in a relationship and they had been together, that he was trying to scare her, and he ended up killing her. So not that I'm saying that she lacked intelligence, and a very intelligent girl, but there's points where your emotions make you illogical, and you project what you think somebody will do or how you think the outcome will be instead of what a logical conclusion will be. So I won't say that women are illogical. I was raised by too many women who taught me logic for me to say that women are illogical. What I'll say is when an emotional stimulant is added, whether it's anger, whether it's embarrassment, whether it's hurt, when an emotional stimulus is added, I've seen women react more illogically than I've seen men react. Like a dude can cuss me out, but if he got a gun trained on me, I'm gonna let him cuss me out. You can call me whatever you want to because you got that gun on me. Now, if you don't have a gun on me and I keep using guns, I'm from Gary. I'm sorry, but you know, if you know what I'm saying, if I see that there's some threat to my life, that the logical decision is to let him have it, let him go ahead and disrespect me and keep my life. Maybe I can catch him later on or something like that if that's what I'm going to do. I have seen where in that same kind of scenario, a woman would continue to aggress because she's so angry that she can't think that, okay, this is going to end bad for me. That usually happens later. Like, girl, why you saw her with a baseball bat? Why you run up on? I was just mad. Okay.
Yeah, that is.
I've actually heard men say that as well. And what I'm saying is, I agree with everything that you're saying. I agree that if somebody has a gun, it could matter less whether or not you know them based on what you think they might do, because that gun becomes the fulcrum. That gun becomes the deciding factor. I recognize that. What I am saying is that logic does not mean the same thing to everybody. And when you assert that certain things are illogical, you're imposing a structure that is definite when it's not always definite. And that's where the conversation comes in. Now, I have to say this, just in recognizing the different temperature of the conversations here. If somebody does have a gun to my face, I'm not going to say, hey, I got this book I need you to read about what you might be doing that for. No, I'm not going to do that.
Right. Yeah.
But when we're talking face to face, sitting down, I'm telling you that this flower has died. I'm telling you that these are circumstances, and you just don't want to hear them because you don't respect what I'm saying enough to listen to me. What needs to happen is that the attitude toward what's being changed, the attitude toward what's being said has to be changed. And therein is the higher need for the consideration of what logic is to one person versus what it is to somebody else.
Mark, I remember being at Dugan's, the one they just closed on what you call it, and and I admit I was not thinking, I was acting in my emotions, and it was a guy and a girl in their car, and I was trying to cross the parking lot or whatnot. I didn't have anything to drink or anything because I just didn't. But the girl was yapping off at the mouth in the car with her dude, but she was leaning out the window, telling me to hurry up. First of all, you were going fast in the parking lot. You were wrong. But I remember standing there when that car got towards me like this, right? And I remember standing in front of the car, and I faced the car. I wasn't thinking. And I was like, I was doing this, right, with my purse and everything. I was like, and she was talking out the side of her neck. I was standing there, and I was talking. The guy was like, you better move, da, 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 da. But I continued to argue, right? Not thinking like these two could literally pull something out and shoot me in the middle of, because it was that type of crowd that day.
Or they could just run you over.
Run me over, right? But
vehicle.
Right. And I was not thinking of that, right? And I remember I was dating this police officer at the time. And I was telling him what happened, right? And he looked at me and he said, you stood in front of the car and you argued with two people in the car. And I was trying to make my point. I was like, but yeah, they were running. He said, you stood in the middle in front of the car He said, now, granted, they were wrong for what they were doing, but he said, but you stood in the middle of the parking lot in front of their car. And I said, and yeah, what?
Yeah.
But I
like that's
wasn't.
instantly how what guys are going to like. We're going to think about the fact, and I say guys generally. There's always vectors or whatever. But I'm saying guys generally are going to be like, hold on, did you move to the side before you was called? No, you just stood right in front of the bumper.
That's what he said. Okay. He asked me that question about 3 or 4 times. He said, I want to get this straight. He said, even as a police officer, he said, you would have been wrong if they had if they had ran you over or started shooting. He said, because you stood in front of the car. And for me, I still didn't understand what he was saying. Because in my mind, I'm like, but they were yapping off at the mouth, this, that, and the other. But I was trying to get my point across. I wasn't thinking logical. And we do, I know for one, I have acted emotional. I have, been in those situations.
There's no more emotional or like divisive type of situation when it comes to men and women than like say a scenario where your woman, your wife is asking you, do you want to go to the movies? And the guy's like, yeah, we can go. And she's like, well, what do you want to go? Yeah, I said we can go. Yeah, but you don't act like you want to go. Like to guys, that is like the pit of hell. That's like, get me out of here. Like I said yes. Leave me alone. Why are you? What? Yes, let's go. And so you want me to put on a performance, my dear? Would you please accompany me to the? No, we're like, okay, yeah, cool.
Mm-hmm.
No,
I can
we
go
just
on
want
and
to
say
say yes.
Listen, I did say yeah.
I did say
yeah. But here's like she's saying, are you coming because I'm dragging you or because you
Lord
actually
have mercy.
want this?
Lord
I can see that question, but it's funny.
Guys, we never think about that. We never think about that.
No.
Like if I ask you,
that's my point.
No, you shouldn't. It's like the argument of leave the toilet seat up or leave the toilet seat down.
Now that's a whole different discussion. That's a whole different discussion.
Listen,
the hinge works up. The hinge goes up just like it goes down. You could be considerate and leave the hinge up, just like you want us to be considerate to leave the hinge down. You know, it's not.
And the toilet paper
we don't think
about up and down. What about that?
Definitely bottom. But no, like as far as guys are concerned, I think we don't attribute like emotional connection to all these different like decisions. It's like, oh, okay, we got some time later on. You want to go here? Cool. Every time I'm with you, I'm going to have a great time. So it's not like I have to be emotionally ready to go to Menards. You know what I mean? It's you want to go? Okay, cool. We'll go to Menards. Like the thought process of, yeah, but you don't seem like you want to go is not something that guys think about. Like if we asking you if you want to go out to eat and you all like, yeah, we can go out to eat. Cool. End of discussion. We're going to go. Right. It's not, but do you want to go out to eat? Or are you just saying yes to me?
Stop asking us that question.
For these
Stop asking us that question. We do want to eat. We don't know what we want to eat.
We just gonna tell you where we're going. I found a workaround. But go ahead, Evelyn. I found a workaround. Keep that in mind.
Okay, I was just gonna say, for the point of what I'm making, when you say to the woman, what you thinking about, I never think about. That is a communicative impasse because she's trying to be genuine with you and you're considering it the pit of hell.
No.
So when you're coming together and having this conversation, that is exactly why I'm saying expressly that logic does not always result in the same thing for everybody, even though we present it as very structured. And before we get away from this too far, Latressa said a few minutes ago that when people are going back and forth about certain things, it contributes to screen time. Screen'Isha.
Definitely.
Screenshot. I didn't want to leave that she said that because it was a very pertinent point. And
it definitely does.
Last thing I wanted to say about Screenshot.
Screenshot.
When I'm switching it to Screenshot. When I first read the title of the topic today, Screen'Isha the Sidcehic, do you know what I really thought that was going to be about? I thought that discussion was going to be about men and their activity of liking Instagram pictures. And that goes toward the whole, are you cheating on me? Why are you liking her pictures? And that whole discussion. That's where I thought we were going.
That's the next one.
But
that's the next episode. We're gonna be talking. Well, not this. It's an episode coming up because that is a problem.
Is that Screen'Isha also, or is she somebody else?
Yes, it is. Because you ain't got no business liking that little half heifer, that half naked heifer.
What does a like mean? What does
a like mean, baby?
A like mean that she gonna go into your DM.
You can like it.
No.
That's where I thought we were going.
I love you, baby. I like you.
If you hit that like and if you hit that love button and you keep hitting that screen, giving them hearts.
Oh my God.
But check it. Here's the workaround that I found. Fellas, listen up.
Yes.
If you're asking your woman what she wants to eat, instead of asking her, hey, what do you want to eat? This is what you say, baby. Guess where I'm taking you today?
Yep.
And she like,
okay.
Chipotle.
Yep.
Like,
I'm going.
How you know?
That's how you handle it.
Girl, you so smart.
That's how you handle it.
Take notes, fellas. Take notes.
I thought you were going to say something else. Where I thought you were going with that. I like that. But where I thought you were going with that. I've heard that if you give people choices, you make it easier for them. When you ask them things like, wait. What I was saying was, if a guy goes to his lady and say, do you want Mexican food or do you want Italian food? That is the construct of what her response might be in. If that's, if those are her options, that's what she's thinking about versus Mexican, Italian, Mediterranean, soul food, whatever all else was a possibility.
We've tried it.
What I was going to say was, if that was where you were going, that is how you treat toddlers, and it does not work for adults. That's what I was going to say.
Nothing works. Nothing works.
And it doesn't work. I think Mark.
Nothing works.
Listening, Mark. I think that's a good way for y'all to, because Chef would do that. He'll be like, "What you want to eat?" And then I'm like, and he'll say no wings, right? Because automatically I'm gonna go to wings. And he'll be like, you want fry? You want? I'd be like, I don't know. And then so what he's been doing, like if we do go out, he'll like, what do you want? And I'm like, okay, go ahead and get my wings, right? He'll say, okay, is that what you want? I said, yeah. But he'll come back with something different, right? He didn't want to get, and I'm like, oh, so you want to go get you something like that? Like, how you know I didn't want to say because you didn't say it. So, Mark,
that's what I mean by talking about that. That's what I mean by talking.
When I say the pit of hell, this is what I'm. That's the stuff that I'm talking about.
This is why. See, this is why social media is so dangerous, right? Because to go back to the word logic, logic is logic. Logic ain't what it is. Logic ain't what you want it to be, right?
That's what I'm saying.
That's is logic.
Point that
period,
I'm making.
Right? It ain't because you a man you think like this, and because you a woman, your logic is different. No, logic is logic. Social media has made it different for us when it shouldn't be the case. It is the stupidest thing to argue with someone in their car, in front of their car. That is illogical. How do you want to look at it?
What
I'm saying. Regardless of your input factor, however you was raised to make you believe that it is okay to stand in front of a person with a gun pointed to you.
I never said that.
I'm not saying that you said that. I'm not saying you said that. I'm saying it is because social media or whatever you believe feels it is okay, whatever input factor, right, that influenced you to argue with someone with a gun. That is just illogical for everybody, not just for because this is how I see logic.
Said that.
I know
you
didn't say that. I know you didn't say that. I'm just saying.
But that is a problem. You're right.
Emotion take over.
I want to say emotions.
Did emotion take over?
Emotions took over because I recognize.
That's what makes
you're
us
right.
fabulous.
You're right. Because for me, I recognize that I did have a problem with my emotions because I knew that that wasn't the only time as well, right? I argued with a police officer, DeKalb County. Y'all remember when I was telling y'all I was on probation in DeKalb because I was arguing with the police officer. I was like, no, I'm not giving you my license. No, how, so for me,
could you imagine a guy, a black man? I'm saying, a black man. Can you imagine a black man telling a police officer, "We ain't gonna give you, we ain't gonna give them our life. We're gonna pick our battles right there."
Right, y'all, because y'all are thinking right, and for me at that time, I wasn't thinking logic. I was thinking emotion because I'm like, first of all, you couldn't have stopped me because I saw you over there eating on your bike. That's what really made him mad. And then you want to come and give me a ticket? And he was a black officer. So he was like, listen, not today. Just give me a license. I'm like, no, I'm not giving you. So when I look back on it, I was acting in my emotions. I was not thinking at all. I wasn't thinking about, and this is when the climate, regardless if we in Metro Atlanta area, as he was a police officer, he was in authority. So for me, I had to go back. I didn't like and I know this is gonna be another topic. I didn't like the authority of a man. And I can be honest with that. I was not trying to have, I don't care what position you had, I don't care if you had a gun on your hip, I don't care what you could do. If I said no, that's what I meant. And I did not give you, but it did cost me, I was on probation.
Oh Lord.
Can I ask you a question?
On probation.
You're in the cab.
This question.
Just get a license.
This question.
My name is now Toby. I live in the cab. My name now Toby.
This question is for the ladies.
Yeah, go ahead.
Guys, of course, you can chime in.
Okay.
But this question is for the ladies. From the position that I have been often accused of thinking like a man, being logical and analytical and methodical and all of those types of adjectives. Why don't you ever want to know what you eat? I am hungry.
Hold on. I don't even want to say anything. Please tell us. Please.
Ooh, that's a good question, Trusty. You want to go first? Why don't we
I know because I remember my ex.
I'm in a love affair with food. I always know what I want.
Tressa will. Tressa does. She have to decide for me. She'd be like, "What you want to eat?" I don't know. She'd be like, "Let's go get these wings." I'd be like, "Okay."
That's what I said. Hey, we're gonna go get some.
I don't know. That's a good question. Why don't I? You know what? I want to say, not to make it too deep, but I know there has to be a reason why. Because one, I am a foodie. I like the choices, right? But I am very indecisive when it comes to that for some reason. I don't know. I need to go talk to my therapist about that because it is a problem.
Let me say this. And this is, I've heard a lot of women say this. I talk to a lot of women, y'all. I've heard a lot of women say this. They hate the fact that they're so emotional, which is why the term or that concept, act like a lady, think like a man, because we have the ability to separate our emotions from decision making, from everything. We can be emotional.
With the food?
No, yeah. we have the ability to separate our emotions from everything, right? That's where the logic come in at, right? So women struggle with that. That's why for you to think like a man, there is a high level of masculinity. Like if you want to think like a man on that capacity and being able to separate your emotion, right, from being able to make a decision, everything has such a high level of emotion. Like, I don't know what to eat. Whereas a man, you're like, I'm gonna go ahead and get something to eat. I'm gonna grab something and I'm good. A woman is a project. A lot of things are a project to women. They just don't know because of so much emotion tied to it. Whereas a man, we can decide on whatever the case may be, whatever it is. There is less emotion of it, and a lot of women hate that. They don't like that about themselves. That's why they would rather think like a man.
I think
But
men,
I'm
when it
saying
comes to
that
like say,
logic is not
when
a
it,
women thing.
No. It's not a
Yeah.
woman thing. No. But to a degree, it's not a woman thing. It's not a one thing. But my thing is, if you're acting like a man, precedes you. If that energy, right, is that, well, I'm not gonna let a man tell me anything. I have my own mentality. I this is how I think. This is what I believe. Like there is no femininity in that. Whereas a man now, right? I don't.
I disagree
so
There's
when
no
it,
softness in that.
completely.
so when it comes,
There's no
here's the
softness in
thing.
that.
The problem with the notion of thinking like a man, it's always an outsider's view of what a man is or how a man thinks. That's why it's always flawed. Because like even if you listen to songs like acting like a boy, like I'm a go ahead and I'm a date girls and I'm not gonna care about I ain't gonna call them back. Listen, that is not how most guys think. Number one. Number two, it absolves the mindset that maybe maybe you're the problem. Maybe he's just acting that way towards you, or the guys that you date or choose are they act a similar way because you're attracted to a certain type of guy. That's the other thing. Also, when women attribute like acting like a boy or acting like a man or thinking like a man, they assume that men don't have any emotions. Like we don't have it. It's not that we don't have them, it's that we're not ruled by them. If I have the choice of flipping out and having my say and making sure my voice is heard, or making sure the job gets done, the project gets done, I'm going to make sure the project gets done because it's not as important for me to be heard or for them to understand where I'm coming from. Like with my ex-wife, I would ask her all the time, when you're disciplining the kids, why are you asking them why they did the thing that they did? I don't care. Only thing I need to know is, did you know you weren't supposed to do it? Yes. Okay. Well, come on here. Let's go ahead and handle this discipline. I don't need to know what your mindset was behind doing the thing. That is because, and I said, because you're not going to feel any different after they tell you why they thought it, because it's not going to be logical to you because they're a kid. So you're not going to feel any different once they tell you. So the notion of
that's not that you'll learn something, and I get where you're coming from, Mark, but it's still you'll learn something from your kids in the sense of figuring out their thought process. And that's what we've been doing for years. It's just saying, okay, that's what you're supposed to be doing, and not giving them a chance to express why, because that's what happened with me and my family. And
but I'm talking about stuff like you were supposed to wash the dishes. I told you to wash the dishes. You was on your phone when I left. I come back, you still on your phone. And
I don't need to know why you ain't watching dishes.
That part I get. That
that's stuff I'm talking
about. I give you a chance to explain.
Because I'm saying,
I think with like what Mr. Teco was saying, give them a chance to explain, to see their thought processes, and maybe and sometimes we assume that they do know or don't know with some of the things. And
I talk to my kids a lot more.
But you may still get this whatever you gonna get. It's punishment.
To me, it's gotta be obvious. But if it's like egregious and like I told you to do something and it's either outward defiance or now I can see if, well, Dad, I was going to do that, but then, so and so was choking. So then I went this way and I tried to take care of them. Okay, cool. But if it's already established that you were supposed to do a certain thing or you did a certain thing and you knew better than to do that, then there's nothing you are going to say to make me feel better about the bad decision that you made. So I don't need to know why you made that bad decision. I just need to know that you made the bad decision. Now, if it was an accident, okay, cool. But if you made a decision to do, like, I don't need to feel what you're saying. I don't need to feel what you're doing in order to, decide what I'm going to do as far as discipline, whether it's, whatever discipline it is. But I think the mindset, to bring it back to what we were talking about, start acting like a boy or acting like a man. I think the thought process behind that, it's inaccurate because it's always like the perception, like you said, of the worst kind of guy and how the worst kind of guy would react in this situation, and I'm going to do that because he hurt me. So I'm going to hurt them before they hurt me, or I'm going to be the one doing the hurting instead. Like it's wildly inaccurate. And you never hear guys say, you know what, I'm going to act like a woman. I'm not going to think like a woman and act like a man. I'm not going to do that. No guy ever does that. So even by saying that, women are relinquishing their power and their authority and saying like their thought process is less than. That's what was always weird to me.
And that's why I had the issue with people saying that as a logical woman, I have to be thinking like a man. That's not right.
Right.
But
in order to be logical, you have to be thinking like a man. Yeah, that was always weird to me.
As men, we also have to realize that for years we have expressed to women that they have no say. So when y'all talk about a woman being decisive about what she wants to eat, if you really think about it, some of those women are looking for their man to lead them to make that decision for them, because that's pretty much what we're telling them, that they're not logical thinkers.
To Popeyes? To
Hey,
Popeyes?
no.
Like Popeyes or KFC?
No, I'm just saying, because if you really think about it, it's again, a lot of women look to their men to make decisions. And so if I'm sitting up here saying, I don't know what I want to eat.
What do you do now, Mark?
Oh, now I'm in IT.
What do you do now, Mark? You say, instead of saying what do you want to eat, you say what?
Oh, yeah.
Instead of guess where I'm taking you today, baby. Guess.
Yeah, and then whatever she says is the right answer.
Girl, you so smart. Girl, you so smart. I knew I got the right one.
So what's gonna happen when she figures out that that's what you've done and that you really had no intention of taking her where she wanted to go, but just has
I don't think we're gonna
deny.
That's a whole different thing. But I do want to touch on to take over his point just half a second when he made the point of let me structure it this way. When we deal with what is assumed that a male strength is logic and what is a woman's strength is, or weakness really, to be driven and led by emotion, whatever iota of truth that may have has been unnaturally conditioned and cultivated to the degree that an emotional man looks weak and a logical woman appears unfeminine. That
have you ever dealt with an emotional man?
Yes.
How was that experience?
Given what we were talking about, I received his emotion and I was able to help him process and get to a place where he could decide what he needed to do regarding those emotions and hopefully not repeat the circumstances that got him in that situation. So absolutely, yes, I have. But the point is,
how was the experience?
Because that's what I do. It's just what I do. I didn't feel like, oh, this chump, whatever. I didn't take it that way. It wasn't, it's like if a child comes up and asks me for food, if I'm a cook, food is what I do. So I didn't feel like it was bad. I didn't feel like it was, an extra burden on me or anything. It was just what he needed to be able to be helped to his feet and empowered to do what he needed to do forward. I didn't have a problem with it, but a lot of women might have.
What makes a man that's emotional weak?
The idea that emotions are for women and logic is for men.
No.
So if he is doing what a woman does, then he is weak. That is why that is the projection. So what I'm saying is, and making this exact point expressly, whatever truth there is in the likelihood that women will act more on emotion than she will logic, and that men will act more on logic than he will emotion, whatever truth there is in that has been cultivated and conditioned to unhealthy extremes, to the fact that now a woman who is logical is called acting like a man, and a woman who is emotional a man who is emotional is said to be weak. These dichotomies have been set up for men to do this and women to do that, and the twain shall never mix. That is not healthy.
So you don't think that was a natural evolution? You think that
What
that
I am
was?
let me give you another parallel. Let me give you another parallel, and then
So
we need
maybe
to wrap up.
those can also lead to Screen'Isha, because you don't have that.
Of course.
Then you go into and you're not on that same page or to have that mutual agreement. She goes over to the screen time scrolling. He goes over to the screen time scrolling, liking some pictures. As TaShon says, some little young thing with Coca-Cola bottle.
Yeah, heifer.
That's true.
Oh my God.
But to the question as we wrap up. Mark, repeat the question.
I was asking, do you think that that was societal? Okay.
I do. As I was mentioning, whatever truth there may be in it, biologically, naturally, inherently, whatever we call it, whatever there may have been an iota of, has been cultivated and conditioned and contaminated to these unhealthy extremes. Case on this point, then I'm gonna let us go. When we talk about how men are visual creatures, does that mean that women need to settle for dogs and troll boys and ugly people just because men are visual creatures? No, that extreme is not necessary. So when we say that men have the propensity to be logical, does that mean that women can't be logical too? No. When women are said to be emotional, does that mean that an emotional man is somehow wrong? No. These dichotomies
I'm very emotional. I'm an emotional
structures,
man.
You're very emotional,
men do this and women do that, are unhealthy. And because that's where people have staked their claims and built their houses and dropped their anchors, we always end up in discussions about what's right for a woman versus what's right in general, what's right for a man versus what's right in general. And until the conversation lifts above these gender dynamics, we will continue to have a needless back and forth about who's right versus what's right.
So listen, good conversation, you guys. As always, I hate that we have to wrap up, but we got to stay on schedule and wrap up. That'll be one of our next topics. So final thoughts for Screen'Isha. Final thoughts. Listen, thank you so much, you guys, for joining with us. Quickly, Mr. Takeover, what you got going on coming up?
We got a good show tonight, 9 o'clock on our YouTube channel, the Sofa Pillow Talk with a couple, and we're going to be talking about parenting.
All right, parenting. All right. Mark B, what you got going on coming up?
I am still on my social media hiatus. When I come back, though, then I will be focusing more on podcasts and getting these words out there to the people.
We're excited. We're excited. Miss Evelyn Whitney, what you got going on coming up?
I am continually working on various projects. The next one I want to have out, hopefully by the summer, and it's a companion piece to Truth Speak. And in the meantime, I will be able to, I'm still working on my sensible Sunday posts for Everyday Conventional Wisdom, and I'm available to be followed on social media through all the platforms.
Love it, love it. The real Latressa, Coach Latressa, what you got going on coming up?
Yes, so I have my monthly planner that you can buy from Amazon, as well as I'm having a digital planner coming out, and hopefully an app coming out soon. So be on the lookout for that. Help
baby.
Stay life. And wait, I don't know if I went through earlier, but let me say now, Happy Founders Day to all the devastating leaders.
All right.
Awards Incorporated.
All
so Happy Founders Day. And I am taking new clients as well. Follow me on social media, The Real Latressa, # Coach Latressa.
That's what's up.
That's it. DJ Johnny Prince.
Yes, the Be Clear Alert podcast is going down. I got Mr. Marcus Jones, the licensed clinical mental health counselor, will be on Monday night, 9:00. Make sure y'all tune in. I'm excited for that, y'all.
Now, what days are you on?
Oh, it varies. It could be, Monday. Okay, it varies. Okay. There's no set schedule for the show.
Gotcha. And of course, make sure you follow the Mail Room 7671 on YouTube. Go ahead and subscribe to that. Next week, we're going to be talking about I'm going to stick beside them, supporting your nation's dreams and goals. Are you
illogical?
Illogical.
Are you really equipped to stick beside your partner in their endeavors? So,
I know Evelyn hate that. I know Evelyn hate that concept. I'm gonna stick beside him. I'm gonna stick. That's mine.
He's my man.
Are we gonna stick beside him? So, Mark,
I hate it too.
Professor Evelyn, if y'all want to come back next week for that, let me know. But we're gonna talk about that as we start wrapping up the month of January. Is commitment, and that's what we've been talking about, and so forth. So next week, I'm gonna stick beside him. So listen, thank y'all so much for joining. It's been I always love these conversations. I love these conversations, and to you all out there, thank you so much for chiming in. Make sure that you follow each and every one of us. Download that 101 TKO Radio app. Mm-hmm. Make sure you are following the Real La Tressa, Evelyn Whitney, Mr. Takeover, DJ Johnny Prince, and Mark B when he comes back. And let's keep these conversations, these culture conversations going. Because listen, I feel like we're about to start heating up. Shoot, we got time in summertime. So
we get crazy on these panels sometimes.
But one thing I love about
I ain't gonna let a man tell me what to do.
I love about me and my friends, we can have adult conversation, and we can disagree with each other, and we can respectfully, and that's the purpose of TMR, is to respectfully, the heart. You know what? There you go. We about to end this thing. But you know what, y'all?
And she just contradicted everything she said.
Why you giving up hearts? Why you giving up hearts?
This is my point. Now, what if a man keep doing this?
Y'all caught it live. She just lied about everything she just said.
I love you, baby.
On that note, bye, y'all. Look, I don't even have the last. You know what? I can't even put in y'all done made me put. I didn't even put in the thing. I kept getting cut off, so I don't know what's going on with the what you call it. But anyhow, bye, y'all. Don't be throwing up no heart. Bye.
Oh, God. The mail room, I be tuned in. Listen in to TaShon, she be going in. Y'all. Black queen for us black kings. We can learn a thing or two when we're locked in. One of the few places we can be heard. Man, I rocks with her, that's my word. The show is enlightening, engagement always enticing. I'm always come with an open mind, I'm never frightened. Guaranteed to walk away with minerals. Now that I'm thinking everything else is minuscule. We're the fools who don't protect black women. No arguing, disrespect, and that's it, y'all. Please come in peace when you call in, cause our friends ain't no slouch, fair warning. The mail room, messages from him. Y'all better listen if you wanna win. The mail room to stay, the mail room, yes, it's here to stay. Messages from him, tune in. The mail room to stay, the mail room, yes, it's here to stay. Messages from him, tune in. The mail room to stay, the mail room, yes, it's here to stay. Messages from him, tune in. The mail room to stay, the mail room, yes, it's here to stay. Messages from him, tune in.